Welcome to the Dental Decoders podcast. I'm your host, Brittany Rogars, and I'm here to help you crack the code on all things dental operations. Each week, we dive into topics to help you overcome roadblocks, streamline operations, and reduce team burnout. Whether you're an owner, a practice manager, or a team member, this podcast is for you. Join us for insightful discussions, engaging interviews, and practical tips. So sit back and relax as we crack the code on all things dental operations together. Hello, Decoders! Thanks so much for checking out this week's episode of Dental Decoders podcast. This week is a super fun episode because I was joined once again in the studio by my guest co-host, Rebecca Herring. I'm so excited to have her joining us for these episodes. I know you guys love these episodes, and they're so much fun for both of us as well. Rebecca joined us this week so we could talk about a topic that I've been asked about quite a bit, and her and I both have a lot of expertise in, and that is creating membership plans for dental practices. So a lot of offices, especially right now, are talking about transitioning to out of network or finding ways to increase their uninsured patient base. And what better way to do that than membership plans? I know that's something that I help a lot of my clients with, and I know it's something that Rebecca has helped a lot of her clients with as well. So we combine forces to make a mini episode for you guys where we talk about membership platforms. If this is a topic, because we just scratched the surface on it, if this is a topic that you think would be helpful to learn more about, please let us know. We want to make sure these episodes are super impactful and educational for you guys. So if this is something you'd like to learn more about, there are so many different things that we could go on about on these. So definitely let us know, and we will make another episode, maybe even bring in a guest who can help us talk about all the creative ways that you can use membership plans inside your practice. Anyways, let's dig into Rebecca. I know you guys know her, you love her, but she's got some cool new stuff going on that I kind of want to just recap for you guys. So as you know, Rebecca Herring is the founder of Your Transformational Dental Coaching. If you want to check out her website, it's yourtdcoach.com. It's a brand new website, super cute. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. All of her services are going to be listed on there, and you can learn about all the ways that she can help you operationally inside of your practice. You all already know Rebecca's got over 15 years in the dental industry. Her father was a dentist, so she's got even more than that. But from a career standpoint, she has had over 15 years in the dental industry. She specializes in transforming dental practices and empowering teams with a diverse background spanning from front desk coordination to executive leadership roles. She brings firsthand knowledge and expertise to her coaching approach. Rebecca's passion lies in enhancing team dynamics, refining operations, and fostering patient-centered care, ultimately driving practices towards a sustainable, successful practice. Without further ado, let's check out this awesome episode. Welcome to this week's episode of Dental Decoders podcast. My name's Brittany, and I'm joined by my co-host, Rebecca. I am so stinking excited that we are able to do a solo episode today, talking about something that both Rebecca and I have a lot of experience in and think will bring a huge amount of value to our listeners, and that is, drumroll please,
membership plans. Woo!
I don't know if we were supposed to say it at the same time or not, but I let you take the lead. So, Rebecca, why don't you kind of dig in and start and share your experience with starting membership plans, and we'll kind of just like piggyback off of each other and go from there.
Sounds great.
Cool.
Glad to be back here with you, Brittany. Thanks so much for letting me join in with you today. So my experience with membership plans has been a couple different ways. I think there's a real benefit, I think, to practices when they are considering doing a membership plan. One, of course, is it does benefit your patients who do not have insurance in a way to help them save a little bit of money, but also help them feel a little dedicated to your practice as well. So we've done a couple different things. So with our membership plan with the dental practices that I've worked with, we tried it two different ways. They have a membership, of course. That's a way to help them utilize those benefits, just like an insurance plan for an entire year. We tried it for a little bit, doing it where they paid their membership fees on a monthly basis, just like, again, an insurance plan. You have your monthly subscription plan, that your membership fee that you pay with your insurance. And what we found was that some of the concerns we ran into is that some of their patients, their card would expire or something would happen. And then we ran into some problems that way with the patients. What we found to be most successful with our membership plans in the practice was to charge the annual fee once a year. We took the full fee up front, and then the patients could utilize that benefit for the whole year from the time in which they purchased it. It made it a little bit easier to track with the patients as well. We just put in, this expires on the 1 year later from the date of purchase. And then it was not something that we auto renewed for the patients. I think that was also a little bit easier for the patients to keep track of as well.
For sure.
So yeah, it just made it easier, I think.
Yeah. And I have had similar experience when I started working in the dental field. The office I worked at had a membership platform. It wasn't hosted by a third party, then it was hosted by a third party, then it wasn't hosted by a third party. And I found a couple different things. One is we also had the option for the yearly or the monthly. I am a little controversial to what you said. I love the monthly. I found that it brought in a lot of younger people who maybe would not have had insurance the other way. Like, I'm a millennial. If I can sign up for a subscription, I have a subscription for Panera Bread. Like, if I can sign up for a subscription, I'm going to. So for me, I personally love the monthly option. I found that a lot of our younger clients like the monthly option as well. I will say that it is more not labor intensive, but kind of labor intensive on the office side, because you do have to keep track of that and kind of monitor those monthly payments that are coming in and out. Luckily, if the office is using Open Dental software, it can do a lot of the legwork for you. So I found that to be super helpful too. And then also the yearly one, a lot of our patients appreciated too, because it was just a one-time kind of set it and forget it. We didn't auto renew as well. So I agree that that is also an awesome solution for a lot of practices. What, in your experience, if an office is listening, they don't have a membership platform, they want to build one tomorrow, what services or how is that normally structured? Like, they pay the amount and then what do they get with that?
So yeah, the way we set ours up was that they got 2 routine cleanings, so just a general pro fee. They got their 2 exams. They got a comp exam or their complete exam if they were coming in as a new patient as one of their first ones. They got a full mouth series of x-rays. They got 2 emergency exams during the year, so if they had a toothache or something going on, and then of course any PAs that were necessary for those 2 exams. And if they wanted fluoride, because from our demographical areas, we had one of our locations that was more prone to want the fluoride and one that was more a holistic area that would be not as in tune to wanting the fluoride. So we left it as something they could add on. So it's just $10 if they wanted fluoride or if they didn't.
Smart.
So we didn't want them to feel pressure to do it one way or the other. That was pretty much the guarantee, what that membership would cover, no additional costs. And then we had a list of services that were covered under that same membership plan, in which they would get a 15% discount, or cash fees, you would say. And then they could have those services done. Those would generally include root canals, crowns, buildups, dentures, fillings, just kind of the standard dental procedures you would have done in the office. It would not include implants or ortho in our practice that I worked in. And most of that just kind of the bread and butter of dentistry, really. So the patients really appreciated that because it did help them save some additional money on top of their membership plan.
Yeah. The office that I worked with was very similar. They got the diagnostic and preventative covered, and then 10 to 15% off the rest of their services. I found a practice recently, however, that I'm working with, that does it a little different, and I want to share it with you and pick your brain on it too, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. They charge $29 a year for their membership program, and they get just 10% off of everything all year, 10% discount that they paid $29 for. It auto renews every year, so every year they're guaranteed to get that $29 of like quote unquote passive income that's going to come through, but nothing is free. Everything is 10% off. Thoughts?
Okay. Well, it auto renews, which means there must be something that creates a stickiness to their office, right? So you're kind of committed. Yeah, it's passive income for the dentist. Why not just give them 10% off then? I mean, it sounds it's just like a cash discount. So
yeah,
for me, I don't see what the $29 other than it like keeps them committed to your practice. I'm not quite sure where I see the $29. Like, what is it buying them? I guess other than a commitment to the office. Sounds like you're really just giving them 10% discount.
I think that the commitment to the office piece is where at first I was like, that's weird. And then I was like, I love that. And then I was like, that's weird. I keep going back and forth on it. And I think about it a lot. I worked with this office like 2 months ago and I'm still thinking about it.
I could see it, I guess, if every year like your discount went up a little bit more.
Oh, like an incentive. That'd be cool.
Like an incentive, right? Like if you paid that $29 and every year that $29, the discount, the 10%, the next year it was like, you can't go forever, right? Because what do you, but I guess if there was some kind of incentive that first year and then the next year, your cleanings were free and you got a 15% discount, but like you can't do it forever. So now you've got me really thinking. Like,
yeah, I wanted to ponder this out loud with someone. So I'm excited that we're talking membership plans. So one of the things that I'm really curious about is like alternative membership plans. It's not just you get your cleanings, exams, x-rays, and then you get 10% off. I want to think about creative ways that we can use these. So yes, that method is one. I mean, he doesn't give a 10% discount to everybody. He only gives it to his members. So it creates this like exclusive type feel. And I feel like it does increase your patient loyalty to a certain degree. At the end of the day, really, it's $29. Like I've spent that at Starbucks. Like if you waste $29, what is the big deal? But it does still put some sort of like financial commitment to that patient being seen at your practice. So I can see that being a benefit over just like everybody gets a discount here. So I can see that. It's just not as like if it like when I pay for my membership, it's $300 a month at my dentist. I don't have dental insurance. I'm in their membership. It's $300 that I pay for the year for that plan. I'm not going to go somewhere else because I already paid the $300. So the weight of it, I think, is a little different too. So I don't know.
So I did hear of a practice that they had, I can't remember all the details. Dang, I wish I could now. They had a membership plan where it was kind of like an incentive, but like every year it like built on itself, kind of like what I was like saying. And you got like points that you use towards treatment. But the crazy part was I was talking with a friend and their family was a part of it. So every person was on the membership plan, but because every person added at a different time. So like the husband went in and then the wife went in. And then they took their kids in at different times. So all of them were rotating on this incentive plan at different times. And their point system was like all at different times too. And so the way that he was explaining it to me is like, he goes, we can't ever go anywhere else. Like all of our points and our rotation, like it would never make sense to ever stop going to their practice. So I think that there's a benefit to membership plans for your patients and finding a way to have there be a benefit to staying with your practice. Yeah. Because it does create that stickiness and wanting to stay. But I think that it has to be a trade-off, not only for the dentist and their practice, but also for the patient who, like you said, you don't have dental insurance. So you're paying that membership for that year with that dentist, but there has to also be an equal trade. So one way to look at it is, what would you pay if you had dental insurance, right? Generally, dental insurance for a single person for, let's just say, $1,000 or $1,500 maximum with an insurance company, you're generally going to pay about $40, $50 a month in dental insurance. If you take that and you roll it out into 12 months, are you paying more out of pocket to your membership in the dental office to then get a 10% discount or 15 or whatever it is they're offering? Are you paying more out of pocket for their membership than you are if you just went out and got dental insurance yourself?
And because I hate dental insurance, my brain has never thought of it from that lens. So that's actually, I like that you brought that perspective up, because as someone who works with dental insurance very closely and like knows the ins and outs, and I know how sneaky they are, I will never again have dental insurance. But for someone in the general public who thinks dental insurance is like medical insurance, where it's like actually insurance, not just a expensive coupon plan, like that does have to be something that you have to compete with. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. That's super smart.
Or dental offices, right? If you're going to offer a membership plan, is something to consider. You can't have a membership plan that's $575 a year when that's a lot more than what someone pays out of pocket in a year for dental insurance. And then they're still paying a lot out of pocket for the treatment too.
Yeah, and that actually nicely leads into like, how do you price a plan? Typically, when I'm helping an office set up a plan, we take the cost of everything they get for free and we divide it by the 12 months. And that's kind of how we decide what the monthly rate is going to be. So the office is still getting compensated for the work that they're doing. Just the timing of the payments are a little bit different. How competitive do you feel that an office has to be on their price point? Do you think they should be taking, in general, a massive discount off of their diagnostic and preventative services in order to make this membership plan more affordable? Or do you think they should try and spread it over the 12 months? What do you think for price points, and like, how do you come up with that?
Well, I'm with you. I think you have to look at the total cost of what you're offering for free. It's not really free, but free, or what you're not charging them outside of their membership plan, right? So for some offices, you may say, you know what, fluoride, not very expensive to purchase, and you may offer it included, right? Whatever it is you want to offer your patients, I think you, like you said, you take all that, you add it all up, and you can divide it, right? What about those people that come in for perio maintenances 3-4 times a year? What if you have a patient has a high risk of caries and they really need to come in 3 or 4 times a year for just a standard prophy? Are you considering that in that cost also? Or do you figure it's all going to average out? So I think you have to look at just that. What do you want to offer that patient within, generally speaking, within that 12-month period, and divide that up among that year? You can do it by 12 months. If you aren't concerned about running that risk of them changing their credit card number or having something happen with those monthly plans, I agree. I think if you can spread something out in a lower cost per month, that's great. If you want to do it, offer both, right?
Yeah.
You can pay, we'll give you a discount if you pay it all up front at once. Or if you want to spread it out over those 12 months, that's fine too. Get all your money up front. Seems easier to me. I'd rather do it that way. I'd rather just pay it one time, be done. I don't want to think about it. But you're right. We're at 2 different spectrums. I'm grandma and you're a young mom. So, I mean, it just depends on how people financially can afford to do it too.
Yeah.
So I think having the 2 options is good.
Yeah.
But you do have to also, like I said, take into consideration what someone's actually paying out in your geographical area for dental insurance too. Now, we also want to make sure I throw this out here. We, as part of our membership plan, made sure the patients understood you could not have any other kind of discount or insurance at all. I know there's discount plans out there. I know there's like the state insurance. We made sure that the patients understood you can't have any kind of coverage to be a part of our membership plan if that's how you wanted to make sure that, you were giving the discount to those that had nothing to help them at all.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I think that memberships are a great option for all practices, especially practices who are considering doing things like going out of network, because I know that is super valuable to a lot of practices right now, is finding ways that they can go out of network in a way that's easy for their patients. But even a full PPO office, you're going to have people in your community who don't have dental insurance or don't know or have access to some of these like self-purchased dental insurances. So I definitely think they're value for just about everybody out there. I think this episode is going to be super helpful for our listeners, and I would love for our listeners to let us know if you would love to hear more on membership plans, because I think there are a lot of different areas that we could go with this. We could talk about marketing them, how to build them, unique membership plans. Like, do you do a Botox membership plan if that's something that you offer, or whitening membership plan, or like different ways you can increase your revenue in your practice that are maybe outside of the box ways to use this. So if that's something you'd be interested, I would love us to maybe bring a guest on who knows membership plans inside out and backwards and talk about that more. So listeners, let us know. Rebecca, as always, it's been fantastic to chat with you. Thank you so much for helping me dive into this topic and for making yourself available to jump on this call.
Anytime. Love being with you, Brittany.
Sounds great. Thanks, Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of Dental Decoders Podcast. We hope you took away a valuable piece of information. As always, don't forget to rate, share, and subscribe to help us build our community of dental decoders. We look forward to seeing you for next week's episode.